Trip digest, why the hell not? On day 2, it is 12:04 p.m. And, okay. Anyway, I'm stopping. I found this cool little place right here. It's not on the map. It's an old campsite. Designated campsite. There's an old fire ring here, but it's overgrown, so it hasn't been used in a while. Anyway, I'm up on a little ridge, and there's a nice running creek down there. For water, I'm gonna pull out my tent, dry it out, my tarp, dry it out. This is perfect. I dry all my stuff out, and yeah. So day 1, got here. I think I hit the trail around 2:30 or so, and I went from the Tower Trail. I headed. There's 2 points of entry, and I went to the northeast one, and nice little hike. Started coming down the hill, started looking at sites down there because I knew it was supposed to. There's forecasts of thunderstorms last night or Tuesday night. So anyway, I was scouting out some spots, heading down. Then I crossed a couple of creeks that had running water, which was awesome. And then somewhere down there, I found my spot for the night, and it was up high off the trail a little bit, maybe 100, 120 feet off the trail. Anyway, nestled around all these rocks. It was really sweet, and it was a great night. What did I have for dinner? I had ramen with some beef jerky that I tried. I didn't like it. I mean, it's okay, it's serviceable, but it's some off brand I've never heard of. Anyway, and so ramen and beef jerky, and then so in the morning, it was forecast to rain around like 6 o'clock, and about 6 o'clock I woke up, no rain yet, so I was like, well, may as well take advantage. Oh, and last night I also got to make my first sort of campfire in the on the solo trip. Steve and I did a campfire one night, but this was my first opportunity to make a fire because I had time, and there was dry wood around, and it was really cool. It was a really small fire, just very calm, relaxing. In the morning, I woke up, I had my cup of coffee, had oatmeal, tried out some different kind, and I liked it. It's this high protein stuff, but they only come in chocolate or, there's a bug, chocolate or maple and brown sugar, and the chocolate was just too sweet. So the maple and brown sugar or whatever was not too bad. And I crumble up some freeze-dried fruit, and I throw it in there, and tried a little powdered milk just to see what would happen. It actually came out pretty good. And when I went to heat up the oatmeal a little bit, some of the milk burned to the bottom of my cook set. That's okay. I was able to scrape most of it off. And then I hit the trail, and that's when. Actually, so yesterday I went all the way down to where all the creeks kind of come together, and then I made my way back up to the spot that I had found because I wanted to see what it looked like. And there was a big creek, and I didn't want to try crossing it, so I went back to the campsite. So in the morning, I said, well, and I was scouting around down there. I finally made it, and there's just rocks everywhere. The trail is real treacherous, a lot of loose rocks, steep grades, up and down. And that sun's, I haven't seen the sun in a couple of days. Anyway, so I finally decided to try crossing the creek with my supposedly waterproof boots, and supposedly they are. And they are, in fact, waterproof. I ended up crossing the creek like 6 or 7, 8, 10 times. I don't know. And every time I never had to take my boots off. And a couple of times I got almost up to the top of the boot. But crossing a creek that's, ankle deep with a full pack and a hiking stick for balance, it just kind of wore me down, and I was kind of getting frustrated because I wanted to go up on this other area, and with all the rain and thunderstorms in the forecast, I couldn't go up too high, because when you're in a thunderstorm, you want to be down low and really in the trees, as long as the wind doesn't blow too hard. So that was yesterday, and that's when I was kind of getting down, and I thought, I can't go through another day of this. Everything leads down into this valley, and it's just too treacherous, and it was too much. It just wasn't enjoyable at all. I mean, and then there are a lot of down trees, um, stuff like that. Sorry, there's a hair bothering me, and a lot of down trees and overgrown thickets, and you lose the trail and then you pick it up again after wandering around. Finally, I made my way back to. I was just going to head to the car because that was the original plan. I was going to head to the car and camp there last night because of the forecast for severe thunderstorms. Anyway, I found around 2 o'clock. I found a nice spot. It was kind of a trashy designated campsite. People left trash. It was really disappointing. But it was a nice place to rest. Anyway, I better hurry up with this. I've been only talking like 5 minutes. Okay. I said I need to hurry up because I want to take advantage of the sun and the heat to dry my stuff out. But it looks like I got plenty of time. Anyway, so I started making my way, and I was came across a cool spots. But anyway, once I got out of the valley and started heading uphill, and then it leveled off, it was beautiful. Just the kind of hiking that I love. Relatively level ground, little ups and downs. But forest scenery, and what I like right now is the trees and the bushes are starting to bud, but they're not completely bloomed out to where you can't see more than 10 feet into the forest. Here you can still see pretty far in, so it's pretty cool. Anyway, and I just kept going, and then I went down this really treacherous, steep, graded decline into where I eventually found my camping spot for last night. Well, I came across. Anyway, I got down there, found the creek, got a lot of water, and investigated the campsite. And I said, well, you know what? I'm down in the valley. This is perfect. It was a place I was looking out on the map for a potential camping spot, especially since the forecast changed and it was just going to be thunderstorms. I can handle thunderstorms. I used to be terrified of lightning, but I've gotten better about understanding lightning. It always seemed too unpredictable and too chaotic, and I always figured something bad was going to happen to me if I was going to be out in the lightning. So nothing bad happened. Anyway, so there was a main designated spot, but I didn't like the ground around it for pitching my tent. And I kind of looked up, found what looked like a little bit of ridge. And when I say looked up, it was maybe 100 feet away and maybe 10 to 20 feet up. And lo and behold, this little shelf with some trees around it, and it was like, I don't know. It was just, I was going to say a godsend, but you know how I am about that whole God thing. But anyway, it was really awesome, and it was perfect. In fact, somebody else had been there probably the day before, because there were some definitely signs of recent activity there. And it was level, and I pitched my tent, and I made a fire ring, and there was dry enough wood hanging off the trees. Some of these pine trees, the lower branches are dead wood because I guess they die as the tree gets bigger, and then up top is where they bloom and catches the sunlight. But lower, closer to the ground, it's all dead, and it's perfect firewood, and it was dry. Even though it had rained the day before, it was dry. Oh, and I forgot. Yesterday morning, yeah. I got down to the valley, thunderstorm hit. Well, I wasn't in the thunderstorm, but a heavy downpour, and I just got soaked. Well, actually, I got a little wet, but I was able to get all my stuff out. So all the stuff I've been spending money on, a $90 rain jacket, and Rosemary had bought me this pants I didn't end up using, but I bought these kind of relatively inexpensive hiking pants. They don't fit all that great, but I don't know. Everything has just worked out. I got wool socks that keep my feet dry, really expensive boots that kept my feet dry, these relatively cheap pants. It's not waterproof, but it dries out real fast when it gets wet. These shirts, these are, hikers and backpackers preach polyester and nylon and all that. I see why. This gets sweaty, it dries off real quick. Anyway, the tent, everything has worked out. I went through 2 thunderstorms last night. No rain in my tent at all. All my stuff stayed dry, my gear stayed dry. I have learned some lessons along the way. The only drawback, back to the trail part, is just the really down in that valley it's too tough, it's too difficult, and there's no way to like make a loop. It's either down and back. To make a loop through that area, you have to go through all these rocks and the down trees and the really difficult terrain. The only other downside is so far I've had one tick. I had to do a tick extraction off my leg, and I banged the crap out of my shin, but it just kind of scraped it, but no blood, no first aid required. But I've done 2 tick checks since then, and I've had no ticks, no bugs, not even a lot of there's no mosquitoes out, even though today would be the day for the bugs to come out. Some flies have come out, but so far no mosquitoes. I haven't gotten any ticks, no ticks in my tent. I slept great last night. I was perfectly comfortable. A little freaked out by the thunderstorms that were nearby, but I slept through one of them, I think, actually. Got up, decided to take my time. I had a great cup of coffee. And today I was like, you know what? I'm just going to come home. I did not want to try to go down into that valley and I was going to drive around to the other side of this wilderness area and try them. But, it was supposed to rain again. It's just going to be down and back. And so I was like, I don't know. I was kind of disappointed because of the valley part. Anyway, got up, got my stuff ready to go, went down, and I started heading towards the trail, and I pulled out my map just to make sure I knew where I was going, and I was like, this isn't in the right direction according to my map. I walked a little further, it was clearly a trail, and even had some little orange blazes. Turned back around, went back to where my spot was, and I said, well, my map is telling me, according to the map I have, I need to go this way, whatever, north or whatever it was. So I went, and then I found the trail that my map has. So I turned around. I'm like, well, this is another trail. It's not on the map. I started to follow it. It's been great. Now it's like almost lunchtime. I'm in a nice sunny spot. Going to pull my tent and my tarp and my other stuff that needs to be dried. I give it about half an hour to dry out. This is what I came here to do. Is just find a spot, relax, do a little hiking. Not putting on the miles. I probably only hiked maybe 4 or 5 miles the whole time I've been here versus 5 miles a day. That I've done in the past. So that's my little, what I call it, camping log, trip report. So that's right now it's 12:17. And like I said, I'm just going to chillax. I'm not terribly hungry. I had that big freeze-dried meal that somebody got for me for Christmas, and it was a lot. It was heavy and a lot of protein. So I'm not terribly hungry, but I will be here pretty soon. All right, that's it. Probably the only trip report I'll have. I'm just really excited for the rest of today. I want to keep following this trail, see where it goes, and then if I can be back towards that campsite at around 5-ish. That's about what time, because the sun goes down at 7:30-ish. Gets dark around 8. It gives me plenty of time to set up, have dinner, get all my gear ready, brush my teeth, and maybe I'll put on some music today. Who knows? Anyway, that's it. Over and out. 10-4. Copy that. Whatever. I don't know. Anyway, this is the end of report. I'll see you later.